What is the most appropriate thing to say to the child when they lose the match?
We're still on losing, aren't we? Mistakes, losing. What's the most appropriate thing to say to the child when they lose a match? Well, I would start with a question. How do you think? And again, I coach, and so I say, you know, how was your match? Terrible. I was terrible. Well, what do you mean? Tell me more. You have to pull it out of them, right? I mean, they just give these global, I was awful today. I couldn't hit the ball today. These global responses that you have to keep. But I think rather than, oh, it's okay, honey, or any of that kind of thing, ask them a question first. See how they feel about it. There's one boy in particular who how'd you do? Oh, I was just terrible in the first match, but in the second, third, and fourth, he wants to talk about those. And I said, well, what about the first match? What was different? And lots of times they can't tell you because they don't know. And that's giving you information. They need to know that. Even at this young age, you need to know what you could have done better and what you're going to do better next time. So that's where losing, making mistakes, is trying to teach you something. So it's all how the mindset, how you look at it. You can go down the road of I'm terrible, all that, which doesn't get you anywhere, versus, gosh, I really need to work on my forehand approach shot, whatever it is. You got to learn. That's the whole point. And it takes years and years and years to be really good at it. So I don't know what I'd say, but I would start with a question. And every child's different. They all react differently. But I wouldn't let them get away with these vague, oh, he was just better than I was. No. What do you mean? What did you do well? What did you do well in this match? What do you want to work on? What can you do differently? What can you do differently the next time you play against this child? Or, you're sitting watching, and like this kid goes, I don't know, down the line on the backhand every third ball, but your child never picked up on it. I mean, I think that's important information to ask them and say, well, how was his backhand? And where did he hit it most of the time? Because they don't know, and this is an education, and they need to learn it. And you teach them things by asking them questions and getting them. And if they don't know, because most of the time the kids just look at me and I know, okay, I've hit something. And I say, well, you need to know that. You need to know what your opponent's best shot is. You need to know if they can volley. If they don't come up in the warm-up and they don't hit any volleys, what's that tell you? They don't want to come up and volley. Maybe I'll hit them some short balls. There's all sorts of things to learn. And if they don't ask for overheads, they don't plan to be coming up to net much. Right? So for all of you out there, even if you're not going to serve and volley or volley and hit overheads, do it in practice. Because you're giving your opponent a message. I'm just going to stay on the baseline.